Do you think men and women are equal?
No, not at all. Definitely not. I think this whole new thing of a woman has to work, she has to cook, she has to look after children, she has to pay for half things, and all the guy has to do is just go to work and come home, chill out and go to sleep. There's no equality or balance in that whatsoever, and I just don't get what this new mindset is like right now. I do think that guys do need to step up.
How do you find it like being a female in a male-dominated industry?
I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I've been DJing for about 18 years now. Growing up, it was very hard. There wasn't really a lot going on. When I started getting better, buying more equipment, learning, then I could see comments and just like nastiness from guys. They just didn't like me, honestly, and I didn't know why.
Tell me something. How much do you earn as a DJ?
That's a bit of a personal question.
That sort of atmosphere is in the evening normally. You've got music, decks, dimmed lights. You're around a lot of males. Has anyone ever just thought, because you're a DJ and you're on there, that they could take advantage or try to push themselves on you or anything like that?
Yeah, 100%. It's happened so many times that like, even with people I work with who you think are your friends, they think, oh, now's my chance. I can kind of try it on with her. Even if they're married, got kids, that doesn't even mean anything. So you just can't trust anyone.
Welcome back to Take a Seat. Here we conversate all about mindset, motivation, lifestyle. Today we have an award-winning DJ. She's performed at Wireless Festival. She regularly plays at BBC Asian Network Radio. She supports acts such as Gary Sandhu, Miss Pooja, and even Punjabi MC. So please welcome DJ Nish.
Thank you. Woo! I feel like we need an applause for that intro.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all good. I know recently you was in India.
Yeah.
How is the atmosphere out there? Because on the social, like on the media, sometimes you like we've just recently, Sidhu Moosewala, he got shot up there and stuff like that. Like should artists be afraid to go there or what's going on? What's your thoughts on that?
So I didn't really go into like main Punjab. I stayed in Chandigarh, and it is so safe there.
Yeah.
Like I loved it so much that I was actually so upset to leave. I was like, I could see myself living here. Like I'm not even joking. I know I say this about people say about any country they go to on holiday. They're like, I want to move here and live here forever. But I feel like it just felt like being at home. And like even going out at night in the clubs and bars, it was so safe. There's security everywhere. Police actually stop you on the road if you're driving to like see if you've been drink driving. They make sure like the girls are all safe and okay if they are going into a car with a guy. So I feel like it's even safer than being out in London, to be honest. It's really strict. And even when I came back to my hotel, like they were like, what's your name? What room number you're in? Can we see your ID? So they're really like on point with security out there. So it's not what you see on TV. And I think like even on social media, people always would pick out like some random thing that happened in the village and oh my God, this is what India's like. But it's not like that at all. It's like changed so much.
What do you think of the situation with Sidhu? What happened?
Obviously it was tragic and I thought 100% when I first saw like the pictures and videos going around, I was like, that's fake news, that can't be real. I was literally watching his Snapchats the day before.
Wow.
So I was like, and I'm a huge fan of his, so I was like, nah, I don't believe it. So I was like devastated, as so many people are. It's just really sad. And I know everyone's doing the hashtag justice for Sidhu Moosewala, and honestly, I don't even know what is going to happen or if anything is going to happen because there's so many like conspiracies and who did it and like the gangs associated with it. So I think it seems to have just quietened down a bit now.
Yeah.
So I don't really know
if
anything is going to happen, to be honest.
I've got to ask, what's your favourite tune of his?
So High. It has to be. I've rinsed that song out. Even like from years ago when the song first came out, I was always dropping that when I was DJing.
Nice.
Good tune.
Now, I know you're a very good DJ. You perform at a lot of places, but I'm gonna take something away from you now. I'm gonna play like devil's advocate here.
Okay.
So we're a couple of years in the future now. Might be 2025, maybe 2030. Yeah. We've got special cameras now scanning like a bar area or where people are celebrating, where you would normally be performing, and it's seeing body language and it's picking up what people are listening to and what they stop listening to. So everything is picking up the waves in this room. It's realizing, are people buying more drinks because AI is so clever nowadays, and people are starting to go to the bar more. The sales are going up. What songs to play? You don't have a job anymore. What's DJ Nish doing now?
There will still be a need for DJs. 100%. You can't have a robot like hyping the crowd up and things like that. Also, I feel like they want to see certain DJs who are putting out mixes and mashups and who are following them for their music. Even like producers like, I don't know, David Guetta and Tiesto and artists like that who are always going to be releasing tracks. People still would want to go and see them. So I think there will still be DJs. I think the concept will change slightly in terms of what nightlife is like, because I've seen it now where it's more like boiler room style. People just all stand and face the DJ like it's a concert, and it's more about being seen on social media, partying, rather than... Do you remember back in the day, like you'd go out, you wouldn't really care about the DJ so much. Like he'll just or she'll be there playing, and then you just form your little circles and you'll just be dancing around with your friends facing each other. And now it's like everyone's all in rows and you just face the DJ and kind of just stand there and maybe bop around a bit. So I think maybe that whole vibe will probably continue to be the same.
What do you think of social media nowadays? Because it's keeping people on that phone and keep scrolling, and it feels like a real difference that from when we were growing up and you could have a normal conversation, and now people, I don't know if you noticed, but some people kind of make eye contact. They're very robotic. Like, how do you think things have changed?
I hate social media. I know it's like I'm being a hypocrite because I'm on all the platforms, but I feel like I have to be for work-related purposes. And I always say that if I ever, get married and have kids, I probably would delete all of my social media if I'm not DJing anymore, because I just think it's such a toxic place. And thankfully, my algorithm on TikTok isn't too bad, because I look at things like recipes or like dog videos or traveling. So it's very like nice, like negative news or anything like that. So I quite like that that's my feed. But I think once you get down like a loophole, then you just have so much negativity in your face. You have like horrible comments. Like no matter what you do that's good, like you will always get like about 50% of trolls who are just saying the most horrible things. Like even on my TikTok lives, I put it up when I'm DJing live and things like that, doing sets, and people will be like, you're not even really DJing, the decks are off, or you're not wearing headphones, so you're not a real DJ, or you don't DJ vinyl. And these are just random people who probably have not a clue about anything to do with music, but annoyingly, it does really get to you. And it's easier said than done to be like, just ignore the haters and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know, it really irritates me. And I'm like, why are these people even allowed to have a voice and a platform? So I think it brings out the worst kind of people with social media. And like I said, obviously there are positives with it. Like, I do get a lot of work from it, so I can't really complain. And I have to be on it, basically. And that's just the way life is now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's what it is. You just have to move with the times, I guess.
It's a little bit weird, like, I was stalking you. So I was going on your TikTok, I'm like, she got decent views. This one blew up. And I was like, why is this one blowing up? So I click on it and it's like, hey, I've got a pet hate, yeah? You guys were coming up to the DJs and going, next song, play this, do this. Like, you got to keep, like it was a bit like, you gave your opinion.
Yeah.
And boy, did people want to give their opinion. And obviously when they start commenting, and when two people start commenting on your posts and having conversations with each other, obviously it tells the algorithm, push this out more. This is getting attention. But in a way, it is a little bit toxic as well, I
had so many people swearing at me because of that post and saying stuff like, you're the DJ, you should be like told what to do, and you're not a real DJ if you don't take requests, and like just like so much stuff like that. And I'm like, I would like you to go behind the DJ booth, have that kind of pressure of like, also everyone likes all different kinds of music now. It's crazy. And I feel like it is mainly Desi events, I'm not going to lie, where before I've even opened my laptop and plugged it in, I have like 2 or 3 people come up to me saying, can you play this? Can you play this? And it's like, oh my gosh, there is a DJ before me. Why can't you talk to him? Like, why are you coming in my face? Leave me alone for 2 minutes. And like, you're only there for an hour, and then a majority of the time it's not that bad. But I think just the it's just irritating having people just constantly getting rude and even being like aggressive sometimes or just showing attitude. And it's like, if you're at your day job, you wouldn't like it if people spoke to you like that. And again, some of the comments were like, oh, but you've chosen this industry, so you should be accepting it, kind of thing. Like, that's just what DJs have to deal with. And it's like, no, I shouldn't have to deal with people talking to me like I'm like there to serve them, or just have basic manners. It really doesn't cost a lot. Just be a nice person. But clearly, I think maybe that's just too much for some people. I don't know.
So tell me, Nish, how do you deal with pressure?
I kind of just zone out a little bit and just get on with it. My thing is I just don't overthink, because then my mind will just be racing at 100 miles per hour. So I kind of just switch off and just think, right, this is what I need to do, and I have this time limit to do it in. So I just need to bang it out, basically.
So how do you deal with it when things are going not your way? You're playing some songs, you've made a whole track list, and the crowd is just not getting up or moving as much and going, what is this? And maybe no one's directing it to you, like specifically, but you can see the vibe's not happening, and you've got a set playlist. How do you think on the spot? How do you change what you're doing, or do you stick with what you're doing? And how do you deal with that?
I don't really make set playlists. I kind of just make a folder of everything that's kind of current at the time, like as in songs that just got released in the last 2 weeks. And then just see how it goes. It's actually happened like a couple of weeks ago. The new Sidhu Musiala track dropped, and I was like, oh, I have to play it tonight. It was literally, I think, like less than 24 hours old. And I played it, and I think probably like 5 boys in the crowd knew what it was, and everyone else just kind of stopped. So I was like, okay, maybe a bit too new.
Yeah.
So I literally just switched it up and went to another folder and changed it. So
it's quite an art, isn't it? Because to us, it's just like she's pressing play on a track. For you, what is going on in your head when you're playing? Because you're playing for an audience. You have to almost predict who that audience is, what age group are they, what they're listening to, where they're sitting. How do you do that research?
You just have to kind of play it by ear and look at the crowd and see how they're responding to songs. You honestly can't really tell. So, for example, at this same event, I played a whole bunch of like mix of Bollywood, Punjabi tracks. No one really listens to UK Bhangra anymore. I think the crowd is quite international, so it's very different from like, I don't know, 20 years ago when I was going, okay, maybe not 20, 15 years ago when I was going out. I'm not that old. But you just have to play it by ear and see how it goes. And then, so I say I play a Bollywood track and some people are like vibing to it. And then the next DJ comes on, all he says on the mic is, oh, who's ready for some Bollywood? And plays the exact same track that I played. And then people go crazy. So I think you just never can guess and tell. A lot of the songs get repeated on the night because there's so many different DJs. But I think that's what people want to hear, really. So I don't think anyone really cares.
The audience is also very different nowadays.
Really different.
So, there's a lot of things that's come out, and different things are taught at schools. There's men, there's women, there's them. You must see all sorts when you're in a club.
It has changed a lot. I think, again, we were talking earlier about everyone having like a short attention span and stuff now with social media. It's the exact same with songs. So I was playing last night. The first verse and chorus went out. Everyone danced. The second, like the instrumental or the next verse was about to kick in. Everyone just stopped, like ready for the next song. So it's like you're constantly just like banging out song after song after song so quickly. So you need to have like hundreds of thousands of songs just to like even be playing a couple of hour sets, just to be on the safe side, to make sure you have enough of what you're going through and to see how they're responding. So it is like, it's a lot of work. People just really don't realize it. I think they just think, oh, everyone's out there having a good time. Because on social media, you see DJs just jumping up and down and it looks like they're partying, but I'm not really much of a...
Are you one of them DJs that are,
I concentrate too much, I think.
Okay.
I think that's my problem. So I'm not really like a dancer or anything like that, because I've got in my head of, well, what's the next 2 songs I'm playing and looking around. And I think maybe that is my fault because I don't pre-plan a set. Right. So maybe I should make life easier for myself and just stick to something. But I don't know. I'm a bit old school.
How do you find it like being a female in a male dominated industry? You know, there's a lot of obviously male DJs out there. You do get a few female ones. Like, have you noticed being a female in this industry makes a difference? Being a brown, South Asian sort of woman background, does that make a difference? What's your opinion on that?
Um, I mean, do we have like 5 hours? I'm joking. Growing up, it was very hard because now there's like a Desi event like pretty much every day of the week.
Wow.
When I was growing up, it was probably like once every 3 to 6 months. There would be a huge Desi event in like Ministry of Sound and maybe like a ball, and then that was it. There wasn't really a lot going on. But now with like it's getting better, I think, for sure, for females getting into the industry, things like that. But when I was starting, I started off as a wedding DJ because there was no club nights or anything like that. So I think having to like speak to road shows and male DJs who weren't really comfortable with the idea of a female coming along and potentially taking over bookings that they would be wanting to do and get paid for, I did see a lot of hate and guys just being very patronizing as well, being like, oh, you know, you're a girl, you know, you need to start from the bottom and you need to come along to gigs with me and I'll teach you what to do and things like that. And then when I started getting better, buying more equipment, learning, building up my like library of music and everything like that, then I could see like comments and just like nastiness from guys in the industry who they just didn't like me, honestly. And I didn't know why. And I actually got offended and took it personally. But then I realized they just hated the fact that I was now getting bookings, I guess. It is really competitive. I think in terms of the whole wedding industry with road shows and everyone watching what everyone's doing and things like that, it was a bit toxic when I was growing up. But I think as time's gone on and now people are more accepting of female DJs and they're just understanding that now this is just normal. And there's so many coming up, it's not too bad. Like I think I'm glad that it's easier for girls now to get into it because I feel like the way I went through it and the people I met or experience I went through was like just not nice at all.
Have you ever been put in a position because like that sort of atmosphere is in the evening normally. You've got music decks, dimmed lights, you're around a lot of males. Has anyone ever just thought, oh, because you're a DJ and you're on there, like they could take advantage or try to push themselves on you or anything like that?
Yeah, 100%. It's happened so many times that like, even with people I work with who you think are your friends and stuff, and then after a few drinks and like you feel like, oh, let me socialize with them because that's the right thing to do. You need to show face and network and things like that. And then you're in an environment where then they think, oh, now's my chance. I can kind of try it on with her. Even if they're married, got kids, like that doesn't even mean anything. Sometimes you think, oh yeah, you know, they're married. They're not going to be inappropriate. Like I feel safe with them, things like that. But yeah, it's just, you just can't trust anyone. So my advice to girls going in trying to be DJs, like just be wary and be mindful and just don't think people are your friend. Always have like your guard up a bit.
Do you think men and women are equal?
No, not at all. Definitely not. I think women have to try so much harder and to be accepted as well. And why are you smiling?
Because like if I'm taking a chick out for a date or something, yeah, she's looking at me
I'm
going
talking about in the
like,
DJ
no, I'm
wise,
talking I'm talking just generally, like
general
you
in
know what I
life.
mean. Like sometimes a guy has to like pay 4 or 5 times for a girl and stuff, and she just got to turn up, and then she can just say no. Like, do you think like the dynamics are changing like between boys and girls and relationships?
So I'm still a bit old school in terms of relationships. I think it's like growing up, seeing like my parents and the older generation. I think it's just, I would I have to be careful what I say now. I think if a guy really wants to take a girl out
Yeah.
and you want to invest your time with someone and you think that girl is someone who you can see a future with, that's my vision of dating. Like I wouldn't just date for the sake of dating. Then I do think, yeah, if a guy wants to take a girl out, then, you know, paying for a date is absolutely fine. I think as you get older and, you're married, your bills are split, you're paying mortgages and things like that, like, it doesn't really matter. But I think in the beginning, if you're trying to, like, impress or woo a girl and you want her to be your wife and the mother of your children, then so what if you pay for a few dates in the beginning? It's not the end of the world.
You might look at it from that point of view, and for the guy, he's trying to meet women to get with, really, if that makes sense, wants to build a future, but he's trying to find the one as well.
Yeah.
So why is it like he's spending all his money and these girls have just got to arrive on the date? And maybe he says later on, I'll work really hard, that you probably want you to split the bills in half. I would have saved my money as well on the side, bought a few assets and can support you. And sometimes there's guys out there who just say to themselves, like, I would like to meet a girl who has more balance to her and, who appreciates me and my company as well. What would you say to that?
Then maybe he should think about the girls he's dating and dating multiple girls and spending money on multiple dates.
Guys are stupid.
And maybe just invest in one person who you want to get to know, because I couldn't sit there talking to like so many different people at the same time and going on so many dates and listening to the same thing and remembering the same thing about different people and all the conversations. Like, that's just hard work. It's like, if you want to invest your time with someone, do it with that one person that obviously you never know either in the beginning of a date if they are going to be the one or whatever, but surely you should be talking to her long enough, like on the phone, and spending time with her that you think actually...
Who talks on the phone nowadays?
Well, I think people should talk on the phone. How else are you going to get to know someone?
It's a WhatsApp message or a DM.
No, I haven't got time for that. If anyone DMs me, I'm just like, oh, you look nice. I'm just like, thank you. Like, what do you want me to say? That's not a way to get to know someone.
All right,
you have to put the effort in, because I think after lockdown and everything, we've all realized time is so short. So why are you wasting it just being like, oh, I want a girl to be like this, but yet you're going after those kind of girls who are just showing up for a free meal. Like, do you really see a future with her?
Girls
Probably
are good liars.
Not.
Girls are very good liars.
Guys are very good liars as well.
Yeah, maybe, but they're also they're more stupid. I know when I was 16, it wasn't until 26 I realized what a girl would do on a date. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I was really dumb back then. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but you're a teenager. It's like, and dates like that. It's like you just
women are thinking way ahead.
No, in school it's like you just go to Pizza Hut. You might go like bowling or something. Like, it's really not that serious.
Play on a dance machine, maybe.
Yeah, I heard you got some good dance skills.
After you have a couple, we all got a little couple of, dance moves. But yeah, it's just like, there's guys out there who are trying to meet good women, and they've taken a girl out for a date or two or three, and then she goes, look, you've been very nice, but unfortunately, I don't think we're right together. And he's like, I thought things were going well. We went for some popcorn and a nice movie. We've had a meal together. I've paid for her every single time, and she just walked away. Then he does it again and does it again. And he's realized, hey, hang on. Like in the last year, I've probably dated 3 girls, spent a lot of money on them. They just have to keep turning up. I think they're really nice. They show interest, and then it doesn't go any further than that. So he's now thinking, well, why can't she pay half the bill? Or why can't she treat me once in a while? What's the harm in that? Isn't that really nice for, a girlfriend to go, let me take you out tonight? You're like, really? Like, wow, that's really nice. Like, it shows that a woman really cares as well. And you're smiling to say, no, that would never happen.
I think maybe he needs to look at himself and realize, why does this pattern keep repeating itself? And maybe it's the girls he's dating. I mean, we're all guilty of liking the pretty boy who everyone wants to date, and we know he's not marriage material, and he's going to mess around and all this kind of stuff. But girls are just attracted to that kind of bad boy. And then you're just doing it to yourself of like, oh, I've dated him and he didn't call me back and he disappeared, and then now he's doing this, and then, oh, but I gave him another chance. It's basically the same kind of thing, like on the opposite side. It's like, they're not right for you, but you keep investing your time and energy and money into that person. But for what reason? And I'll give you an example, actually. I put all my energy into someone, my ex, gave him money every month because he decided he wanted to go studying, paid for half of everything.
Wow.
Literally gave my everything to this person, thinking that, thinking about future, kids. So I didn't even think about money. I knew he didn't even have that much. So I was like, it's all about personality. He's got a good family, all this kind of stuff. And then he ended up cheating on me anyway, and was like...
He cheated on you?
Yeah. And it wasn't like a one-off kind of thing. It was like a whole 6-month affair he was having.
Wow.
So then obviously I've looked at it from that side of like, well, now if a guy says to me, pay half the bill, and I'm just kind of like, why, what do you want from me? Or maybe people look at me thinking, oh, you're like money bags. Why don't you put money down on the table because a guy should be treated? And it's kind of like, where has this whole thing flipped over? Like, why isn't the man the provider? Like, if you want me to stay at home and look after the children, I'm perfectly fine doing that
Wow.
as long as you're out there, like, holding up your end of the deal, because I don't mind that whole old school mentality, because I've grew up in the 90s and everything. I've seen it from there. This whole new thing of a woman has to work, she has to cook, she has to look after children, she has to pay for half things, and all the guy has to do is just go to work and come home, chill out and go to sleep. There's no equality or balance in that whatsoever, and I just don't get what this new mindset is like right now.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
I
think that's why I feel so much about it, because it's like I've been on the other side. So it's like, I do think that guys do need to step up. I don't know what this like energy is right now.
How was your mental health after, that scenario happened?
Like, obviously messed me up fully. I'm getting emotional. And then a couple of months later, lockdown happened. So I had to just deal with it at home, like with my parents, and kind of get through it and not, I don't know, just try to move on, I guess, but couldn't really, because all of a sudden, like, the world was about to end and everyone's like locked in their houses. And then I had that pressure, and, family members were passing away, and it was just really hard. But yeah.
When you're in that dark place, how do you pull through?
I just think now, like, my life is so much better, not with that person after what he did. Honestly, I wouldn't even be where I am now if I was still with him. I think, well, I know me, I don't know about all women, but in a relationship, I kind of become the kind of person who forgets myself and starts doing everything for my partner. And I think I lost a bit of that. So I cut down DJing so much. I got a 9 to 5 to help support both of us and all this kind of stuff. And that's how I got into having that kind of corporate job rather than just doing DJing and radio and stuff like that. So I think now being able to see where I've come from there, and now I can do whatever I want whenever I want. I mean, I took 11 holidays this year as well.
Nice.
And I think being in a relationship or with someone who's so tight and always wanting money, you can never have that freedom to be like, oh, I'm just going to go and book myself a holiday next week because it's my money and I can do whatever I want with it. I'm not having to think about another person I'm supporting. So I definitely think I'm much more freer and happier and just away from that.
Someone watching this podcast is going through what you went through. They're going through a very, very dark place and they can't see, the light at the end of the tunnel. What 3 tips are you giving them?
Honestly, just enjoy your life for where you are right now. You could have a roof over your head. You've got your family and friends around you, and they're going to be the people supporting you the most. I think that's really important. Also, look at it as a positive and just think everything happens for a reason. And I know it's easier said than done, because my sister said the same thing to me. She's like, the best is yet to come now. You've had a really dark time where you think your whole world is falling apart. And I was just like, no, I just still was seeing things so negatively and just thinking, oh my God, it's the worst thing to ever happen. But I think now that time's passed, I'm looking back on it, I'm just like, yeah, do you know what? You were right. I can't believe my life, touch wood, is good right now.
That's nice.
I'm healthy. I've got my family around me. Everyone's all good. So I can't really ask for much more.
Amazing.
I don't know why I'm getting so emotional. I can hear it in my voice is shaking. I'm about to start crying.
All right, let's talk about something positive, yo.
Yeah,
let's move on. So tell me about some of your favorite artists. Who do you listen? Who does DJ Nish like to listen to? What's on your gym headphones, or when you're out about? Who's in that cassette player?
Honestly, cassette player,
Sorry, I mean iPod, iTunes player. Sorry, I thought I was talking to you 20 years ago.
Spotify, get with the times. No, I used to have 2-pack on cassette. How random was that?
Come on.
But no, now at the moment, my playlist is so varied. I think being a DJ as well, it's just hard to not get bored of music that you're constantly playing out. So I listen to quite a lot of tunes that I don't really DJ out. So I listen to a lot of house. I love Chase and Stayers. Their new album is so good.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good gym playlist. I do like my Punjabi music a lot. So artists like Diljit, Jasmine Sanders. I like the old school stuff as well from like Jazzy B, Surjit Bindrakia. I listen to them in the gym. So
That was
honestly,
about
just
punk around the gym, man. It sometimes it just
it's
gets you
so
going,
good,
no?
right? Yeah. Just tunes like that, really. Bit of dancehall here and there. Yeah.
So, like, tell me something. How much do you earn as a DJ?
That's a bit of a personal question.
A bracket. Like, if somebody's going, I like DJ Nish, and do you know what? I really like music as well, and I might try my hand at that. But they're thinking, is it going to pay the bills? Like,
Honestly, DJ starting up is not going to pay a lot at all. I know DJs now who will either take a booking for free just for the experience and for content for their socials, or they'll be charging like maybe £50 an hour. Sometimes they'd even do it for like 150 for like 4 or 5 hours.
wow.
So I think that's the base rate, and it is rubbish. But I think because so many DJs are willing to do it, and promoters or club owners know that that's what they'll accept, then they don't really budge on price, which is a bit annoying. So it means that when they do have like bigger DJs come, then their budget increases by like 50 quid, and you're just like, really? We've all got bills to pay. Honestly, like a few, like our set could be like a few hundred, and then weddings could be like a few thousand. So it honestly really depends.
How much does your brand matter? Because you've built a brand around yourself. DJ Nish is not exactly your name, but you've built DJ Nish up.
Yeah.
She's the lady who gets on stage with her pink headphones. She's on the DJ decks. When she's in the house. You know what I mean? And that's a brand. So you're not just like a normal DJ that somebody got, give her 200 quid and she's all right. It's like, do you want to get DJ Nish down? And you might have set prices for what you perform with. How do you build your brand, and how long has that taken you to build that image up?
I don't really know. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I've been DJing for about 18 years now. So it's a long time.
Very long
before Instagram, before
You only
all
look
of
like
this.
you're 18.
Yeah, thanks. Honestly, I don't have a strategy. I'm not great with posting regular content and social media and knowing the right things to post. I mean, I thought going down the route of mixes and mashups to get with the times, it was the way to go. But I don't know, it just all depends on what gets seen and what, like, algorithms and all that. And I just don't really have the patience for it. So I don't know, I just post whatever I feel like, really. And that's my strategy.
How do you think music's changing on a whole? Because people are bringing the old school back, remixing it with new things.
Yeah.
You've had Sidhu Moosewala with Still Bangles, or with Mist. Like, how is that whole fusion working now? And do you get a sense of, hey, hang on, I've seen a pattern here that you could even make your own sort of remixes that could go viral, or put you on the map? Because like, you just need to go like viral once and you can make it.
It's easier said than done, isn't it? It's like, who knows what mashup or mix is gonna make it big. Like, I've heard some amazing mashups on TikTok, and I've actually DM'd the DJs and been like, yo, send me this because I'm gonna play it on radio or during my set and things like that. And they still only have like a couple hundred views, but for somehow I just managed to come across it. So I do like to help DJs out where I can, producers. But I think, honestly, I don't know where the music trend is going to go, because I was even thinking this the other day. Like Jay Sean and Raga have made it to like mainstream charts. And now, why aren't the Indian or Desi artists making it into mainstream? Like, they're doing really good on their platforms, like even people like Tesha and things like that. Why aren't they hitting UK charts like how Indian artists were before?
Do you feel like there's certain people in the industry? So like, when you see like Jay Sean, he was up there back in the days. He was the main guy, but he had very big companies behind him promoting him and marketing him. And then it gets to a stage where some of these artists say, I'm going to do it alone now. As soon as they do it alone, they kind of don't get that same amount of engagement, and they keep trying in that sector. Do you see any of that?
I think it's just everyone just wants whoever's hot right now. So even if it's like making a funny video or making a mashup, like it'll be good for like that week or month. And then maybe you might get picked up by some news company or whatever, and then they might do a feature or some other meme page. And then like next month, like it's just old news, and then people are moving on to something else. So I think trying to be consistent is just a lot of effort
So
right
I
now.
think what I'm sort of trying to get to is that a lot of people are very good workers and they can be a good singer, but can they also be an entrepreneur and shake people's hands and make business deals happen and think of the bigger picture? And they try and do that sometimes and they just like don't do as well. Like I know recently you've had a career change and stuff from being employed, self-employed. Is that right?
Yeah,
Or, you know,
back
are
to
you
full time.
yeah, so like, you know, because everybody's dream, especially in my world, is you need to be an entrepreneur, get a property, yeah, £1,500 passive income, 10 of them, 15 bags a month, passive, I'm earning money in my sleep now. And that's the world that I'm used to hearing. But then there's some people going, that's not for me. No tenants calling me 4 o'clock in the morning. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
my tap's not working or something like that. But God knows why they'd be taking a bath at that time in the morning. But yeah, you never know.
shift work.
But like, you know, you've recently said that you've come out of entrepreneurship and gone into sort of a 9 to 5, back to that sort of style. What's made you make that decision more, and why do you enjoy that side more? Or is that long term, short term, a strategy, a plan for yourself that you've built up?
So I was doing a 9 to 5 for about 4 years. So even like through COVID and everything, I was on furlough, and that was as an events manager. So, but it was a 9 to 5, so it suited me perfectly because I could do like my gigs and everything in the evenings. I had that free, so I didn't have to be at the venue or anything like that. And then it got to a point where I was just tired constantly, like doing 9 to 5, doing like 2 to 3 gigs a night, having radio as well, and I was just putting only like a bit of my energy into everything, and I wasn't even giving like my best performance at my gigs because I was so tired. I was like having coffee before like going, and I just wasn't in the mood to do anything because I was just doing too much. So in January I left, and then I was like, I'm just going to focus on radio and DJing and obviously travel the world a bit. So took loads of holidays because when are you going to get that time again? But having regular DJ work isn't always consistent. I don't have a manager, I don't have an agent, so I do everything myself, and get a lot of work from the connections I've made over the years. So, and with that whole, like I was saying before, the influx of new DJs and like undercutting people and taking gigs for like £50 or for free, it makes it harder to then get some gigs or like be booked more than like twice a week, especially if you've got bills to pay. Like I've got my car and things like that, and other things. So it was just kind of like, okay, I've had a year off. I think in reality, I need to go back to 9 to 5 again, which is what I'm doing. And it's been a couple of weeks, so I'm kind of like very zoned out again. But I think it's just getting used to waking up early. And the commute in London and getting on trains is just a
Do you get
nightmare.
recognised?
Huh?
Do you get recognised on the public transport?
I literally put my headphones on and close my eyes. So I'm like I'm not a morning person. So
So your 9 to 5, is that DJing as well or something different? Or
I'm back doing events management,
okay,
but
okay.
in another place. And then yes, I'm still DJing and radio as well. So I'm going back to that. I just need to manage my time
So is that like
more
is the
effectively.
DJ and radio and like your side hustle at the moment? You got something main?
I guess so. I think that's another thing about social media being like, you need to leave your 9 to 5 job and set up your business and do all this stuff. But it's easier said than done. And even with my years of experience, like, it's just, sometimes it's just not the reality. And I think people need to stop pushing that because there's absolutely nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5 job and like, you know, building for your future and having consistency. I mean, it is a lot having to try to manage your own work diary yourself and look at all your income and finances and everything. It's just, I think it's got to a point as well where I'm not in my like teens or 20s anymore. So I kind of need to think about the future and it's getting close if I want to, you know, start setting myself up and things like that.
Do you have a mentor? Somebody who guides you or tells you, you know, when you tell them, I want to do this in the future, and somebody helps you with the experience and knowledge, or Who do you look for
No,
guidance
not
to?
really. I mean, I would never talk to a DJ about that. They're just, especially the older DJs, they're very patronizing and they're like, they talk down to you a lot as if, oh, even though they're a few years older than me, but they're just very much like, oh, you should do this. And like just stupid advice that worked for them about 30 years ago when they were out on the street selling their CD mixtapes. But the life is different now. It's not like that. So no, I talk to my parents, I talk to my sister, even though like my sister's not in the industry or anything, but she's got like a good head on her shoulders. So she gives me some good advice.
I want to talk to you a little bit about the Wireless Festival.
Yes.
Wow, man, what a big platform. How do you deal with that? There's like thousands of people in the crowd, like
Yeah.
watching you. Like, how does that make you feel? And how do you deal with that?
It was really cool. It was so much fun. I was actually there for the whole entire day. So in between all the acts, I was DJing in between and then in the beginning when the doors opened and everything. So it was really fun and it was such a nice hot day and everyone was just so lovely on stage and the crew and it was just a mad experience. And it breaks it up nicely, like from doing your standard club bookings or weddings to be able to do festivals. Like it was really good.
Yeah, man, like that is such a big feat. Like, you're probably a few years ago in the crowd and now you're up on stage, and on such a big platform. That must feel like surreal. Like, how does that sort of make you feel?
Honestly, the whole day was like a blur because it was like a lot of rushing around, like, Nish, you need to get back on stage. And then artists would finish earlier than their set time. And then I was like just about to eat for the first time of the day. And it was like, oh no, you have to run back on stage. So the whole day just went by so quick and it was a lot of madness backstage. But I just loved it. And I just had just so much energy and adrenaline for being on stage and playing out to so many people. It was just crazy. I loved it. I was like, I want to do it again.
Did you speak to any like artists backstage or anything, like made any friends?
I spoke to a lot of managers backstage. Obviously, artists are in their dressing rooms and prepping and things. But yeah, no, a lot of other radio people who I knew were down there as well. So it's nice to be out of studio and actually see people out and about in events. I think networking is really important. It is a big thing to do in the music industry, being seen at the right places, talking to the right people. So I'd encourage anyone to do that.
You said you travel quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about some of your most favorite places and what does traveling do for you?
It makes me wish I lived abroad. Honestly, I feel like it's just something to look forward to.
Where would you live?
Huh?
Where would you live?
I went to Sicily this year and I just loved it so
South
much.
Italy.
Yeah, it was so nice. I'd recommend anyone to go there. It's really a beautiful place and the food is so good as well. Obviously, India will always have a soft spot in my heart because I just feel like it's like home. I go there and I spend time with family and the food out there is just so good as well. Like eating Indian food here, like in a restaurant, is just not the same. I feel like they just put so much oil and
I don't know, but I've been
stuff
watching
in it.
TikTok earlier, and there's one guy, unfortunately, only had one arm, but he's making this roti and he's just putting it under his arm and he's making chapati out of it.
Yeah, but that's street food.
There's people like jumping around on the floor and then they're selling all of this stuff and it's just like, oh my God, is that what's going on? And there's like people cleaning with all sorts of stuff and just sharing it. And it's just like, that's what social media shows you. And I'm like, I went to India in 2017, like, I remember having this pomegranate juice and 2 seconds later, it just came straight back out. Like, my body couldn't handle it. India's not like that, right?
No, I don't know where you went. Obviously, you can catch like bugs anywhere. Like, I mean, I went to Morocco and I got like a stomach bug there from the food and obviously things like ice water. And if you go to an all-inclusive, like, do you know what I mean? It's going to end up happening one way or another. But I had everything out there. I was like drinking the sugarcane juice from the streets.
Wow, you got a good stomach then.
Eating everything. Everyone's like, don't eat dairy out there. And I was having paneer all the time and salad and whatever. And I think if you maybe go to the village, actually, I don't even think the village is even that bad. I don't know what they show on social media or where someone finds the most randomest, dirtiest place and decides to film it and say, this is what India is. It's absolutely not like that at all. I mean... there's so much wealth there as well,
Yeah,
like
it's true.
I saw like Ferraris and Bentleys and everything out there. So
Jeez, Ferraris, Bentleys, yeah,
yeah,
in
it's like,
Chandigarh, yeah,
yeah.
outside the clubs.
That was a G-Wagon outside the club. I was quite
Yeah.
impressed by that. But no, it's not like that at all. It's just what people show on social media. I mean, every single country has like poorer areas where, hygiene obviously isn't a thing because that's just the way people live. Like I've been to Thailand and Vietnam and places like that, and it's like the exact same thing as India, but no one sits there filming people on the street and posting it on social media. So I just don't know why they like to do that with India. Then it gets spread around and was like, oh my God, this is what it's like.
Oh
And
my
it's
God.
like, no, it's not.
A lot of people like rappers and I'm not labeling or stereotyping here, but some people need to smoke a joint or weed to like just get some inspiration and stuff. What do you do when you're coming out with your playlist?
Nothing. I've probably just got like my mint tea at home. Whack open my laptop, have friends on in the background. No, I don't really take anything. I
I'm
need
not, I'm not
I need coffee, obviously, before I go out to a gig, especially if I've like worked during the day to just like wake me up. I think it's different for different people, right?
why do some people have to try find some sort of escape? Can you relate to any of that? People need to turn to alcohol, drugs, or pills, or cocaine, even. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden, as soon as they've got some money and they've got a bit of publicity and they're doing well, why they're not enjoying it in terms of like bigger houses and more traveling and like what leads them to a direction of I need to escape this through a drug or something?
Honestly, I don't know. If I'm being truthful, I don't know anyone in my circle who openly would do it, and the people who do, um, it's just because they just want to have some fun. Like how we would go out for a nice night out and have like a bottle of wine or go for cocktails, things like that. They would then go and take drugs as a form of um, a bit of release and to relax a bit, I guess, because I think as well in the whole wedding industry, it is a really unhealthy lifestyle because you're constantly eating the catered food all the time. Like it's so unhealthy. You're drinking all the time. Well, no, not me personally, but I know like some of my friends, they have like bottles behind the DJ booth and things like that. And then it gets to a point where they've drank so much throughout so many years that now that does nothing for them. And then they need to just have something else to give them a bit of a buzz. And I do see it with some of my male DJ acquaintances who have like health problems now. They're obviously like a standard one for all DJs is like their hearing is really poor because like the music's so loud.
Wow.
It is a pretty unhealthy lifestyle to have. And then going to sleep or waking up early, then you're having to do it all over again. You don't have time for gym. Your sleep schedule is like proper messed up as well from just constant back-to-back bookings. So I think people just need it also just to stay awake and stay alert. And then they probably just rely on it too much, I guess.
So one of my good friends, Sam, his brother was a famous DJ called. He was part of the Scratch Perverts, they were called, and he always used to play.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about it. It was just the name. It was now. Now I'm analysing it. But he used to play in Farringdon all the time, and he had tinnitus, like which is that ringing in your ears.
Yeah.
Like what what am I saying? Like, how do you sort of make sure that you don't get like some ringing in your ears, like something that you're doing for a job that doesn't affect you personally? Because I couldn't think of anything worse, like a ringing in your ear for the next 30 years of your life.
No, honestly, I actually worry about some of the younger DJs when we're all using the same CDJ controller or whatever. And then I plug my headphones in after their set. And I always turn the volume down before I put the headphones on because there's been times I'll put the headphones on, press like the button to listen to cue the track, and oh my God, I feel like my ears are about to explode. And these are like 20, 21-year-old kids who are like listening to volumes that loud. And I'm like, that's just not okay. You're literally going to go deaf. Like it's so bad. I think, yeah, you just have to like just sort it out, because if you start blasting like your music at that young age, like, it's really going to be bad in the future, and you're probably going to need to have like a hearing aid or something at such a young age. And I noticed it's actually some DJs, they like naturally shout when they're just talking because they're hearing so bad and they can't talk properly as well because of it. So I think you just need to watch your levels and just turn it down. And I know it's hard because it's like you want to get in the zone and hear loud pumping music in your ear to like get into the swing of things when you're about to do your set, just to like pump you up a bit. But I would advise not to do that. Just keep it on a reasonable level.
What do you think is happening in our like South Asian sort of culture? You know, there's a lot of people who say, "Oh, this girl, she's always in clubs and pubs and playing music and half dressed in these places and stuff like that." Where, why is she not, doing a more sensible job and, you know, having a family and concentrate more on them sort of things? Like, because the dynamics are really changing. Well, what would you say, where somebody's just judging you on that performance?
It's funny, actually. There was an uncle at a wedding I went to recently, who had like an eligible son, which, whatever, as they come up to you, like, oh, look at you looking all good in your sari. You look like a good little Indian girl. He's like, what do you do for a job? And I was like, oh, I'm an event manager. And he's like, oh, what bank? And I was like,
What bank?
huh? So he thought I said investment banker, which I guess does sound a bit similar to events manager when you hear that when the music's blasting.
Right.
And I was like, no, I work in events and I'm a DJ and a radio presenter. And he was like, oh, and his face just dropped of like, ugh, you're definitely not going to be suitable. Not that I was even interested in his son anyway. But I think everyone has this image, especially on social media, when I post videos like of the crowd and like they're all partying and then there's like drinks or whatever behind the booth, that I'm constantly partying all the time, and that's what it looks like. But when I've taken people out with me to my bookings and I literally walk in, do my set, you take your videos, you take your pictures, you may chill for about 10, 15 minutes afterwards and you leave, then they're like, oh, the whole time I thought you were just out like partying till 3 a.m. because that's what it looks like on social media. And I'm like, no, it's still like work. Like you go there in your booth, you play, you're by yourself, you don't talk to anyone because you're just in the zone, and then you go home. So I think, and that's what people don't understand the reality is like. No one really talks to you either because you're by yourself as well. Or there might be like an MC or maybe like some other like groupies hanging around, but they know you're working. You've got your headphones on. No one's going to be sitting there having a conversation or trying to chat you up. So I think people have a huge misconception about it of, oh, they're out partying or they're in clubs and they're coming home late and that's not nice. But you need to remember that's like a job as well. People have shift work, but they're working all like hours of the night and come home late. It's not like, oh, it's dark now. That means it's not a nice time to go out to work. Like everyone needs to like earn and make a living. And if DJing's at nighttime, then it is what it is, really.
You ever feel like lonely?
Yeah, for sure. It is a lonely job. Even when you're just at home and you're just working on your music and stuff, you're just sitting by yourself. And it's hard as well because your friends are always going out and making plans on evenings and weekends. And then I'm not always free. So sometimes I very rarely get to see my mates. And it's like, oh, when are you next free on a Saturday? And it's like, 3 months' time, I can book something in for you. And I think even with relationships as well, like people would just not like the fact that someone's always busy and out at night as well. And that's another thing where they think it's cool in the beginning. They'll be like, oh, you're a DJ, that's amazing. And then after a while, then they're like, actually, no, I don't really like it that you do that.
Why do you think that is?
Probably just don't like. I think because, everyone has this thought process in their head that you're out late at night and everyone's chatting each other up and getting smashed. But it's like, it's not like that. In fact, I think no one even talks to anyone anymore. Like, I feel about 10, 15 years ago, you'd go out, everyone's really friendly, guys and girls would chat, get each other's numbers. Like now, people would just like stare at you and watch you. And then I'd go home and I'll get DMs of, I saw you last night. And I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do about that? Like, why didn't you say hello? They were like, oh, I didn't know if I should. And it's like, okay. And that's the end of the conversation and I'll never speak to them ever again. But yeah, I think it's just people are just a bit more shy and reserved now, maybe.
So what sort of hobbies do you have? What do you do when you're not DJing? You said you go to the gym. Do you have other hobbies?
Gym is probably my main thing.
What do you do in the gym?
I like aerial classes, so
Okay.
trapeze and hoop, which is very
Okay.
random, but I've been doing it for so many years now.
So for people who don't know what that is, what is that?
It's like circus classes. So the hoop that hangs from the ceiling and a trapeze with a rope and bar. It's literally just doing conditioning work, and then you do pretty shapes upside down and things like that. But it's a good like core and arm workout.
I can imagine. Like, I don't think people appreciate how hard that is just to even pull your own body up.
It is really tiring. Like all my shoulders and back and everything is so sore the next day from it. So I'd rather do that than weights because it's more fun, for sure. Other than that, hobbies, I guess seeing friends, spending time with family, going away on holidays. But
Tell us some more places. You said 11 destinations.
yeah, this year.
Yeah. What were they?
Egypt, Greece, Dublin,
Dublin.
Belfast, I don't know if that counts, but I'm counting it in there. Amsterdam, India. I went to Cyprus. I was DJing for a wedding out there.
Nice.
Where else have I been? Oh, Sardinia, Sicily, Malta. Where's the last place I went to? I'm missing one.
Is it expensive to travel?
Yeah. So I had this in my head where it's like, oh, if I go on a night out in London on a Saturday and I have dinner and drinks, you're going to spend a few £100s anyway, standard. I might as well just book a flight and go on holiday. But then it's like, once you do flights, hotel, eating out, excursions, like a boat trip, all this, you've easily spent like £1,000. So that whole mindset I had just isn't accurate. So it would have made sense to just stay in London. But then it's like you experiencing like a new culture. You get some sun, and that's very limited here in the UK, I feel. We don't get much sunshine.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, you can say that again. I love like Spain. You're only like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from London, but you get a little nice bit of sunshine there. And like one of my friends, Roberto, he lives in he lives in Alicante. And I went. He said, "Just stay around my house." And I was with his mum, and it was just so beautiful. Coming on the balcony, and you can see the sea there.
Honestly, it's
and you
beautiful.
just walk, and people, even at night times, are with their prams and going past, like nothing to worry about. And she's like, "Sean, I'm not rich with money, but I'm rich with a life." And it's like, wow, that's so true. Because I feel that the food here in the UK is I find more and more people are getting diseases like cancers and heart problems and all of these things. And a lot of it seems to be doing to do with food, because this year I also went to Crete Island is one of the Greek islands, and we went on a little excursion and fresh olive oil and all of that sort of stuff. We milked a goat, Midjuli, that's what her name was, and we had a really, really good time. And I was like, oh, by the way, what's the average age of the people living here? And he goes, well, they never stop working, but they do take like siesta from like 2 o'clock to about 6 o'clock, and then they go back to work because it's just too hot. But they live around about 100, 110. And I was like, what? Like, you're lucky to be 60, 70 in the UK. And he goes, it's just the food. It's all fresh food, no GM, nothing's genetically modified. Like, how important do you think food is?
Firstly, the food in Greece is amazing. I love it there. Food, I really try to watch what I eat a lot. Again, with everyone getting ill and sick, and people who are even my age are just randomly passing away, that I've heard a lot of, which is just kind of freaking me out, which is why I'm like, health is so important. I mean, I take like so many multivitamins and like different natural stuff every single day.
Like what?
I take like healthy tablets.
Oh, wow.
I got my neem tablets from India just now. Like, vitamin D obviously is like always low for Indians. Just normal multivitamins as well. Just a whole little collection. So, drinking a lot of water, staying hydrated, going to the gym, trying to stay fit and healthy. I'm vegetarian as well, so I try to eat loads of fruit and veg every day and like try not to load up on carbs. And now I'm just really appreciating home cooked food way more because, again, with eating out and chemicals, and there's loads of sulfites in food to preserve it, which is also like really bad for you. And it's even in alcohol, which I only realized like the other day, which I was kind of like a bit concerned of. And now I need to like read the back of bottles all the time.
What about pale ale? Is it in that?
Oh, I don't know. I don't drink
Google
ale.
that now. Pale ale, like if I drink a beer, I get bloated. But pale ale is just goes straight through me. I was like, I found my drink. Yeah.
I know. I tried to do gin and tonics because it's like low calories.
Okay. Yeah, not the pink gin though.
No,
that's full of sugar.
That's disgusting. So yeah, I tried to stay generally quite healthy. Obviously, like a donut or biscuits here and there isn't the end of the world.
What you having on your donut?
I just like your standard jam donut. You can't go wrong with that.
It's a sugar-coated jam in the middle.
Yeah.
Like that.
Obviously, like chocolate donuts are good too.
Oh, yeah.
But
custard?
It's okay. I don't mind it. Anything like with chocolate is fine. I tried to stay away from fizzy drinks as well because I didn't realize either how much sugar is in that. And I think it's like the older you get, the more like health conscious you become. And it's just like, there's so much I just didn't realize that I was consuming or having, like, if you had like a rum and Coke and then you're thinking, oh my gosh, like double calories, double sugar, and Coke is obviously so bad for you. And I just think I just need to like try and sort myself out internally, then I'll feel better.
Yeah, because you're quite gifted genetically, you know what I mean? You don't hold on to all of that food. You've always been slim.
I used to be like a size 6. This is like the biggest I've ever been.
What, now you're size 8?
No, I'm a size 10. But yeah, it's like, obviously the older you get, your metabolism changes. So it's important to keep healthy. And I always think, I don't have kids now, but I want to have kids at some age, and I don't want to be in a position where, I've like, I'm too weak or I'm like overweight and I can't like run after them or look after them properly. Like I want to be fit and active and, taking them like whatever to like football on the weekends or whatever they're doing and just being like a proper active person. And I want to be there for like as long as possible for them.
Where'd you get that drive from? Because there's a lot of aunties out there, mate. I'm telling you, who don't care about diet. They eat what they want. Gym, not doing the gym, like a gym that ki karna, all of that. They just like, you almost laughed at when you're like, I go gym 5-6 times a week, and it's like, what for? Were you bodybuilder now, or what I mean? Were you fitness model or whatever? And then you concentrate on a bit diet, and I don't know about you, but always picked on for having a good diet. Do you know what I mean? I've got my protein here, carbs here, fats here, balance this, and then they're just like, live for today. You got to live your life, like, what are you doing this for? Like, what if you die tomorrow? Like, your mindset's pretty different, if that makes sense. Where does that come from?
I mean, it's all good to have a treat once in a while. Like, I do have that mentality of you only live once, for sure. But I do think, I think it's all to do with social media having a lot of pressure as well on how to look. And also, like, I want to wear nice clothes and things like that. So I want to be able to pull it off as well. So I think that's a big thing as well. Being in the public eye, being on stage. I don't want to be in a position where like I'm looking at a photo and I'm like, oh my gosh, like
damn,
that
the
was
rolls.
terrible. Exactly. So I'm definitely more self-conscious and I put more pressure on myself. And then people are like, oh, just relax, you're fine. Yeah. And I'm like, yes, you may think I'm fine, but to me, I don't think I am. Like, I'm not saying I want to have like humongous muscles and six-pack abs, nothing like that. Like, I don't have time for that. Just generally being healthy and like in a normal average size would be good.
Tell us a little bit about your fashion then. So what you're wearing today and what's inspired this look?
I didn't really want to wear black.
Okay.
But I knew the walls were white, so I didn't want to clash.
So you like stand out a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about my fashion. I think I generally dress quite smart. I don't really want to be seen as looking like a bum. I think with DJs, especially male DJs, they can just rock up to a club in tracksuit, a tatty t-shirt, and no one would care. Yeah. I think for girls, there is a bit more pressure of looking good, looking a certain type of way, being presentable, and I don't want to look scruffy either.
Yeah. How much does it matter to have a brand on? Like, you got to be rocking the Gucci and Louis Vuitton and all that. Like, are you one of them people and go, yeah, I've got to have that on, and it gives me more confidence?
No, I mean, I do like to have nice handbags. I've got a good collection now. I think clothes, not really, because I mean, you wear it once and sometimes you just never wear it again till like the following year because it's been posted on Instagram. So I think just like neutral clothes and colours and just being smart.
Yeah. So what's your favorite type of attire?
Honestly, considering I just said not dressing like a bum, I do love just chilling at home in my like oversized tracksuit. Is what I wear pretty much whether I'm going like gym, supermarket, like little families' houses, whatever. I'll be in my tracksuit. I think the second I step out and I'm in a little bit of a nicer environment or like a restaurant or a bar, even a pub, I would like always put on like a pair of jeans or trousers and just dress up a little bit, because when you dress up, you feel good. I think I just got a bit lazy as well when I wasn't doing my 9 to 5 job with just not caring about what I was wearing, what I was looking like. Now I have to be so smart, like always wear a blazer, always wear a heel. It's very strict with what you're wearing. So, and then I go out the house and actually feel like, yeah, I like actually dressing smart and nice.
What do you think of some people just spending too much money on their material items such as clothes, and like they're living paycheck to paycheck, and they, oh, I have to wear this because my friends will judge me if I'm not wearing this, and then they've got nothing in their bank account but they're looking like the millionaire sort of thing. Some people like to live their life that way. Would you think of that?
I mean, they could be wearing fake stuff as well. You never know. I mean, there's so much of it out there. So they might not be blowing all their money. Because you get really good fakes, actually. When I went to Turkey and I was looking at all the shops, I was like, this is insane about everything.
Did you pick up a few?
I couldn't. Like, I tried to do research of like things like zips and all that, and it was just too much. And I was like, I just can't. I'll probably end up buying it and then just never wearing it because I know it's fake. Do you know what I mean?
What's wrong with being something fake if it looks nice?
No, I just couldn't do it.
No?
Me personally, like obviously if anyone else wants to do it, that's totally up to them. Even those who blow all their money on clothes, if that's what makes them happy, then you do you, I guess. But I'm not judging anyone.
Okay. Well, I thought let's make this episode a little bit fun today.
Okay.
And I thought, you know what? Let's bring a game in. We're in with a DJ. She should know the lyrics to
No, don't
a lot
put
of
the
things.
pressure.
Yeah.
She should know, you know.
She should know. No. So I've made some notes today, and basically, I'm not even gonna sing it. I'm gonna say the words, and I'm gonna get you to complete the rest, and then tell me who the artist is and when it was released.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you up for this
Wait,
challenge?
tell you who the artist is and when the year it was released.
Yeah.
No one's gonna know the year.
Come on. All right. Cool.
No, it's too much.
And you literally got 5 seconds to answer as well. So there's no procrastination or I think I know it. Wait. Is either a thumbs up or so. All right, cool.
Okay.
Here's the first one. When I see your face, there's not a thing I would change.
Girl, you're amazing just the way you are.
Yes.
Woo.
Who sang that?
Bruno Mars.
Yeah. Do you know when it was at?
2010.
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was really good. Wow. This is gonna.
Oh my God. I've set the bar now.
Come on, man. She has. That's a good start. That's a good start. Okay. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch, and it's.
I have no idea. Well, if you sang it, then at least I'd know what the melody's like.
That's too easy then. Imagine me go, when I see your face. Of course you're gonna know that's Bruno Mars. Come on. Yeah, so this one. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch.
I don't know. If you said I'm a fire starter, then obviously I know that's Prodigy.
No, it's good. And it's bringing me out of the dark. I don't even have to sing this one. It's called Rolling in the Deep, Adele.
As if I would even. Do I look like I play Adele songs?
I don't know. You went through a dark point, She helps.
No, you need emotional Bollywood music for that.
Oh, okay.
Getting in my Senti vibes.
What kind of emotional, like Hindi
obviously,
music?
Well, the first track everyone has to play for a breakup is obviously Bevafa, Imran Khan.
So
that's the signature tune.
So whoever doesn't understand what that means, what does Bevafa means?
Means like kind of like betrayal, right?
Yeah.
Someone who's a
Yeah, you double
betrayer.
crossed me, mate.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Okay, I got you. Noted. Okay, cool. But you didn't have to cut me off. Make it out like
Oh, now you're just somebody that I used to know. That song.
yeah. Yes. Now you're somebody I used to know by.
I don't know. He's a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, Gotti. Gotye. Gotti. But you didn't have to cut me
Why do you pick the most
off.
randomest pop songs for this quiz?
Listen. Just because it's stuff you don't know, you would say it.
You could have done like Sean Paul or something.
Okay, well, you never know. It might be coming up. I'm gonna pop. All right, I'll sing this one because I don't think you'll get it. Or I'll say it first. I'm gonna pop some tags.
Oh, I only got $20 in my pocket.
Yes, ding. And who's it by?
Oh, those guys, Macklemore.
Yeah, Thrift Shop by
That's
Macklemore.
it.
Come on, when was that out? What year?
I don't know. I'd say like 2012.
Ooh, 2013. That was close. That was close.
Close.
Okay. Because I'm gonna end up singing it because I'm happy.
Oh, Pharrell, happy.
Yes. But what's the rest of the lyrics? Because I'm happy, clap along.
Clap along if you feel like, I don't know.
A room without a roof.
There you go.
What year was that out?
That was for a movie, so I feel like that was like 2015 or something.
Ooh, 2014. That was close. That was close. You're good, you know. I would never get this myself. Okay, cool. Hang on. This hit the ice cold Michelle Pfeiffer, that white gold.
This straight masterpiece.
Yeah,
You know
nearly.
the song?
This one for them hood girls, them good girls.
I know this on my folder in my laptop.
Who sang it?
Goddamn, I'm singing it in my head. Uptown Funk.
Yes, come on.
It's not Bruno Mars again.
Yes,
It
Bruno
is.
Mars. Come on.
I was like, surely it's not two Bruno Marses.
Okay. Next one. All right, cool.
Okay.
Because if you like the way you look that much,
You should go and love yourself. Justin Bieber.
yes, ding. What year did he sing that?
I don't know. I feel like that's more current. Maybe like 2017?
Oof. 2016, girl.
I'm a
so
year out.
close. Come on, you need to realign that algorithm, girl. I'm in love with the shape of you.
Ed Sheeran.
Yes, but you need to sing the rest.
Push and pull like a magnet too. And then Diljit's remixes. Do you know?
Yes. Come on. All right, cool. Next one. She say, "Do you love me?" I'll tell her only partly.
Can you rap it?
Yeah. She said, "Do you love me?"
Drake.
Finish it off.
I only love my bed and my mama. I'm sorry.
Hey. 50 dub. Yeah. So when did Drake release that one?
Hotline Bling, right? I think it must have been
God's Plan.
Oh, his stuff sounds so similar anyway. I'm gonna say 2018.
Oh yes, ding! Yes. Well done. Hopefully my editors be springing them sort of sound effects in the background. Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse to
Old Town Road, Little Nas.
Yes. Ding. What year?
2019.
Yes. Come on, you're getting better. I said, "Oh, I'm blinded by the lights."
Oh, Weekend, Blinding Lights, released in 2020.
Yeah, can you sing it, please?
I can't sing.
Go on. Let's get DJ.
Unless I dance. I only remember that because everyone on TikTok was doing it in 2020 lockdown.
See, look, this is why TikTok's really good, though. I find that TikTok gets you involved in so many different things. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you interact, and there's somebody who you might not normally know. Like, so I find people do one industry, but they can be a personality as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you're doing DJing, for example, but if you just like, for example, teaching people how to DJ and go, look, let me look, check this out. We heard it, and then you go, let me show you how to do that. So look on this program, I'll realign this. Like people might like you for a different reason. Maybe, like the presenter version of you, or the teacher or the mentor to look up at you. Like, have you ever thought about setting up a page that does something slightly different?
Not really. I think it's because it's hard enough trying to keep on top of my own TikTok and Instagram.
Mhm.
And I feel like on Insta, no one really cares about my music stuff or DJ stuff. My highest posts, like liked and interacted posts, are just me dressed up on a night out or something.
Mm.
And then I'll work hard on doing a mashup or something. And then that gets like literally 100 likes compared to like thousands on a dressed up photo, which is a shame because obviously there's more to me than just dressing up on a night out.
Oh yeah.
I think that's just what I guess people on my page just want to see.
What about a little bit of a concoction? You know what I mean? Like you're DJing, playing, but then an overlay of you with like some fashion style as well. Bit of both. Then they might be like, oh, this is what I like to see. And then they're listening to it at the same time. Go, yeah, get two algorithms.
The thing is, I know no one really believes it when I say it. I am a bit of an introvert.
Really?
And
That is hard to believe. Yeah, for sure.
I'm not even joking. Like when I do a video for like a promo thing for social media, I do it in about 10 takes. Like I'm not just a person that like puts a camera up in front of me and I'm like, hey everyone, and it's like amazing the first time. And
Hey,
I'm
it's
just a
DJ
natural.
Nish, BBC Asian Network Radio. Tonight, join us on the live. Like you look like you're like.
That's a few takes.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie.
really?
Because I'm like, oh, I don't like the way my hair was there, or oh, I didn't say that properly, and I'm very self-critical about everything I do and how I look and how I sound. So even, do you know what I did the other day? I went on a TikTok live. Like normally I just do it when I'm DJing, but this time I actually did it with just putting the camera up and talking to people because I watch other people's lives like that. So I was like, you know what? Let me interact. And, people don't really know much about me. They don't really know what I'm about. They just kind of see me working at a gig or posing and that's about it. There's no no one actually knows me as a person. So I just felt so awkward. So awkward. People were messaging me questions and I was like, yeah, like giving like 1-2 word replies. And I was like, weird. Like I'm talking to a screen. Because again, like we're from that generation when we're not used to just talking to people on screens or things like that. And not having another person that's talking back to you. It's just like literally them typing.
Yeah.
So it's just weird. And I think it's just something I just need to get used to. And again, I made the mistake of during lockdown being like, I'm not downloading TikTok, it's for kids. And I didn't realize what a powerful platform it actually is. And when I was busy like with my family and, supporting my mum and dad, like doing grocery shops for them, because obviously like they were vulnerable and things like that. My mindset wasn't I'm going to jump on TikTok and like do DJ mashups, and which a lot of people did, and now they're huge with just like after a couple of years. And that is a regret that I wish I did think about. But obviously, I'm trying to jump on it a little bit and see how it goes. But I think I'm just not. I'm not an influencer, 100% not. But I'm just posting whatever I feel like posting.
I totally agree with you. Like at the same sort of time when I was locked up at home, I was watching all these other influencers in the property world, and I was a little bit annoying because I was like, it's not quite like that, or you should have said this, or everybody knows that. And then like even one of my friends was just like, you're a little bit bitter, ain't you? And I was like, no, I'm not, but it's just not that way. And he goes, so what are you doing about it? And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, why are you not doing it? I'm like, oh, I don't need to do this. And they were like, well, stop moaning about it then, because these people are coming out, and really coming out their comfort zone to come and try to teach people and show people the way. If you think you can do better, why are you not doing it? And I really procrastinated over that TikTok. Now, 2020, TikTok was a totally different marketplace. Like you could go viral so quickly.
Yeah.
But as usual, because TikTok is the newest like boy on the block or person on the block, like you've got Facebook, then that got replaced like by Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
got a little bit professional like with LinkedIn, but TikTok just wanted market share really. It overtook YouTube, over in the States and America. So when TikTok came out, I just thought, oh, this is going to be silliness. Like, I'm going to be addicted and everything like that. But starting in like 21/22, I did go, got a big audience very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But there was people who just like reached 100K followers very, very quickly. And they're getting all the brand deals, collaborations, because they have that sort of audience. So I definitely think it is about, catching some of these trends very quickly, and quickly catching onto it and move onto it as soon as possible. So I think we'll have to wait for that next new platform that's coming out, eh?
Yeah, even like talking about the whole property side, there's two guys who bought a house by themselves and they were doing it all up from scratch. And I watched their whole entire journey, like through TikTok, of them learning skills. And
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen them.
Probably what are they?
I don't know their names. They're
Not
just
the Fountain Brothers or
No, they're two friends who bought a house together, and literally every day they were like, okay, now we're going to learn this skill, and we're going to try plastering, and we're going to try
yes.
tiling.
Yes.
And they've left their jobs and they were just putting everything into this
Mm-hmm.
property. And they just blew up so quickly just
Yes.
because you want to see the next step. Even when you see like people doing furniture flips and stuff,
Yes.
they're like, come back for part 2 to see how it looks. And I'm like, oh, go on then, I'll go on your page. And, it's
Yeah.
just all things like that.
Yes.
And yeah, again, with lockdown TikTok, it was just all people dancing around. And in my head, I was like, oh, this is just a kids thing. And it's not really going to be that popular or big. And I guess, like, look at it now, it's just insane.
Should be a little bit more open-minded. Has property
Yeah.
or property development ever interested you? Or any sort of business out there that you probably thought, I wouldn't mind having a little go at that?
I wouldn't mind. Like, when we were getting our extension done just after lockdown, and I was watching the builders with like their skills of everything they were doing, I really wanted to get involved and do it. Like, so my dad doesn't have any sons, so it's just me and my sister. So because I'm the youngest, I was kind of like, you'll do as taking on the role of the son, and you'll help me do this like DIY stuff and any like kind of projects around the house. My dad will teach me and I'll be his helper, which is how I got into DJing as well, because he was like, oh, why don't you learn off me, and I've got all the equipment, I'll just set up for your school parties. And I was like, yeah, go on then, press play on CD players, like no mixing skills like when I was 17 or anything. So from that, I actually really love, like I said to you as well yesterday, you said you were putting furniture together. I'm like, I love putting furniture together. Like, I find it so fun.
I hate it.
And then just seeing that you've like done it at the end, like it's like an achievement kind of thing. So all the furniture in the house, like I put it together, still standing today, before you ask. So yeah, I wouldn't mind like learning a skill like plastering and something like
DJ
that,
Nish
or
the plasterer.
or like bricklaying or something would be quite cool.
Do you think that's taught in schools, like financial literacies? Would you know how to buy a house? And
No, I don't even know like the first thing. And now houses are just getting more and more expensive, and it's like your standard 3 like bedroom house, which would be back in my day, I don't know, like 300, 400,000 is like going for like £1 million. And it's just like, okay, so everyone needs to be millionaires now. It is a scary thought of what am I going to be doing, and am I ever going to leave my parents' house, basically? But I mean, it's fine. They're cool. They're pretty chill.
somebody watching this podcast today, what is the main message that you are giving them?
I mean, we've covered so many topics. I think the main thing is just, I don't even know.
Maybe even if I've missed out something, what is that message you're trying to give somebody that they're watching DJ Nish? Like, what are they getting from you? Like, what is that? What are you about? Like,
You put me on the spot. I don't know. I think advice-wise, I'd say for all the young DJs out there, just be careful. Don't be exploited, especially to the girls out there. Just be safe. Don't trust every male you meet. Again, I do think it is changing because the whole DJ scene is getting much younger. So I feel like less of the older DJs are in control, where they feel like they have power over you, and that because you want something from them that they are like in control. They kind of have that mindset. But now I think there's a lot of young DJs, young promoters who are putting events on and things like that, that even the old school DJs are trying to get in on, because they're like, hey, why are we not getting recognized? We've been DJing for like 30, 40 years or whatever. So it is changing and it's getting better, but just be careful and know your worth as well. Keep practicing as well. I have seen a few young DJs doing like warm-up sets, and sometimes it's not always sounding on point, and I think they don't really know what they're doing. So it's like you need to at least practice before you're like going out there. Don't just think, oh, I'm a DJ overnight and I can just do it, because everyone notices when your mixers are like clashing or sounding off point. Just be the best that you can be and just show everyone that, yeah, I can do it too.
So preparation is key.
Yes, for sure. And know your music as well. It's really important.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Really, thankful. I haven't got a lot to give you, but I got you a snapback.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I love a bit of merch.
I got you a t-shirt.
And it's pink.
And it's pink. I thought
Yay.
maybe you might like that. But
I do.
if you look
Thank
straight
you.
into your camera, Nish, and let everybody know how they follow you, or reach out to you.
Yeah, most of my socials are just official DJ Nish. So that's TikTok, Instagram. I have all my mixes and mashups on my Mixcloud page. Again, just search official DJ Nish. But yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much again, guys. I hope you really enjoyed that episode. Don't forget to support us and smash the subscribe button. Drop us a like, drop us a comment, and share this with somebody who needs to hear it. But until then, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.